Ladies and gentlemen of the rock and roll, punk, prog, hardcore thrash and heavy metal community, my name is Jason and this is the Great Metal Standoff, the podcast that pits music's greatest albums in track-by-track combat. Pantera is a band that was bound to be dissected on this show at some point, but because I naively never explored their style or their contemporaries, I didn't know what sort of opponent would be suitable to go head-to-head with them. Thankfully, a few months ago, when discussing this dilemma with Imran, he came back to me with Gojira from Mars to Sirius, and I'm going to let Imran explain his reason for this album shortly, where I will also explain why the Pantera album I chose to compete on the standoff was the Great Southern Trendkill. What I will do right now is introduce to you Imran and I's guest for this battle, set up by our 4-time previous guest Hannah over at the main radio show Mosh Pit, as she currently has assembled her new presenting crew for 2022. This gives Imran and I great pride in how vibrant the main show Mosh Pit has become after our stint in charge of the Thursday night program back in 2020. So therefore, in act of pride for myself and Imran, we're going to meet the 2022 crew for this podcast right here. We will be meeting Hannah's co-host, Darcy Thomas, in which this appearance is going to essentially complete his baptism into the Mosh Pit Kingdom. Here's how the battle will work. Every album battle will be contested in track-by-track format by our podcast panel. Each individual panelist will select a winner of each pairing. The winning track receives a point to that individual's tally score. Tracks on albums that go uncontested can receive a tally point if a panelist awards it a gold star, which we're going to need today. Once the battle is over, the album with the highest tally score will receive 1 grand point for that album. If a panelist's tally score results in a draw, both albums will receive a half grand point each. And finally, the album with the most grand points will be declared the winner. Alright, let's see how Pantera, the Great Southern Trendkill versus Gojira from Mars to Sirius came to be. And let's meet Darcy. Roll the audio. You know what, Imran, I said this in the intro, and I want to say it again because I am very proud of this. When we were in charge of this, the main Mosh Pit show back in 2020, it was very nice to have a crew that carried us over into 2021 and henceforth 2022. So it gives us great pride to introduce someone from the 2022 crew onto the show today.
Yes, I'm excited. I've never met this man before in my life.
Neither have I, but Hannah said he's a really nice guy. Darcy, welcome.
That's nice. That's a nice greeting. Darcy Thomas, nice guy. That's on my resume. Yeah.
Well, that's good to hear.
Nice to meet you guys too. Nice to meet you, some of the oldies. Oldies who have been kicked off the show.
Are still allowed to meet the new crew and do a show, in conjunction with the main one.
You're allowed. They allow you to.
Yeah, and a little bit of inside baseball. We ended up calling you out publicly on air because we did a little ad for the last podcast on the show, and then we went, oh, by the way, Darcy, we're always available.
Are you guys even in the age limit anymore? Do they let you in the Sin building?
I'm not allowed to disclose my age. It could be anywhere between 0 and 100.
Yeah. Just not allowed to play with Lego anymore. You hit that 103.
No.
I was trying to think though, Lego. Well, there's Lego Masters and there's a lot of adults on that. So I think it is a bit more of a universal habit than normal.
True.
Isn't the age limit of Lego like 99?
Yeah, that's what I'm saying. On like the box. It's like 103 or something.
I thought it was 99.
Maybe. Maybe they brought it down so some old people can have some more fun. Who knows?
Who knows?
Well, anyway, enough about Lego. Darcy, it's very good to have you on the standoff once again. Pantera v Gojira, but before we get to that, let's just get to know you a little bit. What sent you down the rabbit hole to join this wacky world that is heavy metal?
I don't know. It's a hard one. I was always into kind of like from a very young age. Mum was into like alternative music, not like metal, but stuff like the Violent Femmes and like The Cure and stuff like that. So I always had an interest in music that wasn't completely mainstream. But I also had an older brother who was into metal at the time, and I think he's influenced me a lot. Like he was in bands when he was a teenager. I thought he was really cool. But yeah, like I don't know. I've just always liked it. There was always like. I remember once when I was like 10, my brother put like an Obituary CD on. I was like, oh, this is really good. I like this a lot. So yeah, I don't know. It's a hard question.
What kind of music do you generally listen to on a daily?
It's such a mix. I listen from pretty much anything from like I listen to a lot of old, like, sort of bluesy country kind of stuff, and like also a lot of like modern surf rock kind of things as well, and a lot of metal too these days. I'd say these days I listen to a lot more like extreme kind of metal. I listen to like a lot of hardcore and like grindcore and crust punk and stuff like that.
I've never heard of crust punk. Can you define that,
Me
please?
neither.
Oh, it's like I don't know how to describe it without seeming mean. It's like really extreme kind of the band Dystopia, if you've ever heard of them, would be crust punk. So like really dealing with like social
Dystopia.
issues like poor and usually coming from pretty bad backgrounds and just dealing with that kind of stuff. But it literally is like if you think grindcore is intense, it's like some of the most heavy and intense music I've ever heard in my life. Which isn't a very technical definition, but you know, it'll have to do, right? That's all I got.
Yeah. So
Yeah.
basically, find out who Dystopia are, and then that's your
Yeah,
gauge.
that's listen
Just
from
go
there.
from there.
Yeah,
Righto.
exactly. Yeah.
Your brother was in a band. Were you ever?
No, I definitely played songs with bands, like in shows and stuff, but I was never like a proper part of it, you know?
What kind of instruments do you play?
Or
I
instrument.
just play guitar. I play like
Nice.
a little bit of piano, but only enough to like get me to learn the one song that I wanted to learn. I just kind of got rid of it. Yeah.
What was it? What was it?
No, it was a piano. It was a piano, but
Yeah.
it wasn't a proper piano. Oh, what was the song?
What was the
It was
song?
it was called like Gymnopédie #1. You would recognize it if you heard it.
Okay.
Oh, it's a classical piece.
Yeah, a little bit
Ah.
classical. I say a little bit, yeah. So it's classical. I don't know how it can be. Just a bit.
Just a little bit.
But yeah, I probably don't remember how to play that anymore either.
Aw. Yeah, you do lose
Aw.
it if you forget practicing. Just wanted to quickly ask you as well. Now that you're also part of the crew here on Mosh Pit on Sin at the main show, Thursday nights, 8 o'clock on Sin, of course, as you know, we're the B-side podcast of that show. How has it been being involved in the week-to-week process of Mosh Pit here at Sin? What got you into that? What got you to join the crew?
Well, it's nepotism actually. Hannah, the current host, is actually a pretty good friend of mine. I see her all the time, and she knew I listened to metal. And one time she just came up and was like, "Hey, do you want to be in a radio show?" I was like, "Oh, I never thought I'd get asked that question." But yeah, but immediately I was like interested because like it's kind of hard to put in the word. I've listened to like a lot of different metal shows on like radio stations or like, you know, like Headbangers Ball on VH1 Hits or something like that. It played a lot of metal, but there's also like a lot of the stuff that I really like doesn't really get played that much. And I thought it would be like a good opportunity to be able to put that stuff out there. And I go to a lot of shows in Melbourne and like know a lot of people in bands, and it'd be good to kind of share that love, you know, the people I know and like. And yeah.
That's an exciting thing to do. Very noble of you. And hey, we've had Hannah on the show about 4 times. We can attest. She is wonderful. She's a class act through and through.
She's great.
Can confirm.
Exactly. Imran,
Yes.
we have a list of battles. Imran's seen the list of battles that I've had since we conceptualized the Great Metal Standoff. I talk about it a lot in recent times. I don't listen to Pantera all that often. I'm going to admit that right away. It's a cardinal sin, I admit it, but it's the truth. When I wanted to put a Pantera album on the Standoff, I didn't know where to start. The only songs I'd listened to were, at that point, was the song Floods, which comes off the Great Southern Trendkill. So therefore, I thought, the way to go into it would be do the Great Southern Trendkill. But for a very, very long time, I didn't know what kind of opponent would do. And Imran brought the goods a few months ago and suggested From Mars to Sirius. So this is very much an Imran proposed battle. Imran, From Mars to Sirius by Gojira, what made that the opponent for Pantera?
Originally, it was because it has almost the same amount of tracks as the Great Southern Trendkill, so I kind of went off of that, so it, you know, it didn't get too complicated with the golden star rule. But after listening to both of the albums back to back, I thought it was very interesting because they're both similar but also different albums, or like even bands in their own respect. It's like they've both kind of got that almost death metal-y sound to them, but you know, like Pantera goes in one direction and Gojira goes in another direction. And I thought it's very interesting kind of putting these two together, especially song by song. That was kind of my thought process.
Righto. And when we proposed this one to Darcy, he met us back with quite a bit of enthusiasm, didn't you, Darcy?
Well, I did because I don't listen to much Pantera these days. I'll be honest, and I think it's probably like since I listened to both albums this afternoon in preparation for this. I made a big list of notes, but I don't know. It's kind of I also said that I'd listened to the Gojira album, but I think I was thinking of a completely different album. I think this is the first time I've ever heard the album, the from Mars to Sirius.
How
And
much?
I,
Sorry to interrupt you there, but how much Gojira had you listened to before tonight?
very little,
Very
very
little.
little at all, actually. Yeah, this is pretty much like probably the first time. I've definitely seen their like if I was watching like a metal shows, like one of their like music videos, but I don't think anything because it's a 2005 album, is it? I don't think it would have been anything like that long ago if they're still running, you know? Yeah, the Pantera. I have listened to this album quite a lot when I was like a teenager, like a young teenage boy.
Were they one of those gateway metal bands for you?
I'd say so. I'd say it was definitely an influence on me learning how to play guitar. And it's like still like if I ever try to learn anything, it's like it'll always either sound like death, like the death metal band, a little bit like Pantera, and just like I know. So yeah, definitely still lasting.
Your words are making Imran grin from ear to ear. I think you're speaking his language.
Yeah, but I was actually surprised that I hadn't heard more from Gojira because they are like one of those big prominent bands.
Especially now, too.
Yeah.
Good that they're still going.
They're coming to Australia at the end of the year.
Really?
It's a Good Things Festival.
Oh yeah, I forgot about that.
Yeah.
There's heaps of big bands playing now, like Soulfly.
Deftones.
Yeah. 303. You need a little 303.
That's how you say that name. I was wondering how you pronounce that.
Yeah. I only got told about it the first time the other day. This is making us all sound very out of touch.
For a metal
So we
show.
actually haven't listened to these albums before tonight. Yeah.
We're just guessing the songs.
Hey, I was brave enough to admit I don't listen to Pantera much at all, so this would have been a first time going through all the way through. And I didn't listen to Gojira before, so this is a first time exploration.
Really? Yeah.
You've never listened to Gojira either.
Never listen to Gojira either. This is why I'm banking on your knowledge here, Imran, because I reckon you're going to have a lot of interesting points to make throughout this one, because you're not wrong. It's very diametrically opposed, but within a similar umbrella. One goes one way, one goes the other. Particularly in Pantera's sake, you've had Cowboys from Hell, Vulgar Display of Power, Far Beyond Driven, that golden run where they really overtook Metallica in the metal in terms of biggest metal band in the world because of the directions both bands took. And then you reach the Great Southern Trendkill, where they are in the darkest headspace they've ever been.
Was that
They
the
have
latest
some.
album? Sorry.
Say that again, Dust?
Was that their last album, The Great Southern Trendkill, as well?
Reinventing the Steel was.
Ah, true.
Yeah,
I forget about
pretty sure.
That was just the one after that. I think the Great Southern Trendkill was the second last.
It is, yeah. But yeah, Imran, it's the darkest period
It
of
is
Pantera.
indeed.
So bad that the music was written and recorded in Texas between the rest of the band, and Phil Anselmo is recording his vocals in New Orleans. They're not together writing this album.
I believe you had some help from Trent Reznor, I think, recording those vocals.
Trent Reznor's studio, I think he said.
Yeah. So, yeah, very dark.
You can see they're all getting along really well at this time. They probably wrote letters to each other. Yeah.
Oh, great. Darcy's sarcasm's rating across the Zoom call.
Yeah.
That's a wonderful sign for a good battle, I think. It's going to be a close one, I'll say, Imran.
Yeah, not gonna lie, in my head when I pitched this, wasn't gonna expect it to be a super close one, but re-listening to them, I think it's gonna be pretty close.
It'll be tough to call. Do you got any first impressions to share, Darcy?
I think like a lot of the time they do sound quite similar. Like the albums have like a 10-year difference between them. But sometimes the sound can kind of sync up in a way that's like pretty interesting for like a battle that was just chosen because they had the same amount of songs. It's like they do sound quite similar sometimes. But I learned that I liked an album that I used to love less, and I liked an album that I used to not know a lot more. So like listening back, yeah.
Are we going to find out as we go on?
You are. I think you are. You're gonna find out some secrets.
Keeping everyone in suspense.
Yeah.
Well, on that note, let's christen Darcy into the Mosh Pit family by gesturing to the timekeeper. And Imran, what does that timekeeper got to do?
Man, ring the bell.
And let's begin. We start, as always, with our guest Imran. So we'll give Darcy the floor for the opening statement, and that is the Great Southern Trendkill, the title track versus Ocean Planet to kick off from Master Sirius. What do you got for us, Darcy?
Well, the Great Southern Trendkill is the opening track of the Great Southern Trendkill. It's plans within plans here. I actually much preferred Ocean Planet to the Great Southern Trendkill. If only because I just think it feels very the Great Southern Trendkill feels very disconnected. It feels like the parts of the song don't lead very well into the other parts of the song, in a way that isn't very clean. You know what I mean? You can do it in a way that feels natural, as in it's an artistic kind of license thing. But I don't think that was the case with the song. And Ocean Planet, it just sounds like classic. I'm a real fan of classic 90s death metal, and it has a lot of that kind of death metal to it, The only thing I didn't really like about Ocean Planet is because I have this weird thing against pinch harmonics in songs. I don't know, every time it just takes me completely out of the song every time I hear one.
Really?
I'm like, Well, I used to be as a kid, I used to really like Black Label Society, and every time I hear it, I can only think of Zakk Wylde playing guitar. And I'm that's right.
Just Dimebag does a lot of those pinch harmonics as well.
Yeah, it's true. But
And,
I think
Gojira as well.
there's a certain kind that I'm not against. I guess against. I can't go back on that, against. But yeah, I just feel like it just doesn't come out as strong as Ocean Planet really sets up the rest of the album well.
Interesting.
So opening point goes Gojira for you, Darcy. That's an interesting start.
I've probably got almost the complete opposite opinion to you.
Really?
Almost. I did really like Ocean Planet. I think with Gojira, I think one of the things they're really good at is kind of painting a picture just using the instrumentals, the riffs and stuff. Kind of just feels like this big open space, and it's just this really harsh landscape that they've immediately painting. I really liked the breakdown where after the go, then it just goes into that breakdown part. There's a lot of pace changes in it as well, which is really cool. The chugging part where it's just the one note kind of reminds me of violins, which I thought was pretty cool. But yeah, it's just a very big song. A lot of massive open chords. The Great Southern Trendkill, absolutely in your face brutal intro. Just from the get-go, you've just been hit in the face with a brick or something.
You can describe a lot of Southern Trendkill songs like that.
Exactly.
Yeah, but I mean, this
description.
is the first one. Yeah, you've never listened to the Great Southern Trendkill before, and you put on the first track, you're going to be hit in the face with a brick. That's a warning to everyone who's never listened to it before.
That's from a red light to 100 in a school zone. Just goes straight at it.
You don't know if they're bricks or children. Anyway, there's a lot of time changes and stuff in it as well, some crazy going double, triple time almost. There's a time signature change in the chorus which I really like. I kind of feel like that goes in a bit of a different direction that you don't expect, and then all of a sudden, wham, brick again. The main reason I really love the song The Great Southern Trendkill is for the second half where that really bluesy southern riff comes in. And from that point on, genuinely is one of my favorite Pantera moments of all time. It's just that solo, the riff, probably my favorite Dimebag solo. I know Floods is on this album, but my favorite Dimebag solo is The Great Southern Trendkill.
Wow, we're calling that
I don't know why,
now.
Calling it right now.
That's huge. That's big.
I will die with that. I don't know. Something about it, right from that first.
I'm glad I'm getting you to say this, Imran. I've written in my notes here. I'm not sure if you can see. It says, Imran, thoughts on the ending, please?
Damn.
I needed to know. I had to know. Because it gets all weird at the end.
It does, but I don't know. I feel like it's just the way that Dimebag kind of structures his solo as well. It's put into parts. He's got like a little intro part with the slide, and then he does some crazy picking stuff, brings back the slide, keeps building it, does that weird delay stuff at the end, and suddenly it gets super doomy. Like it just fades out, and it just kind of it gets crazier and crazier as it's fading out. Like it's so weird, but I don't know why it just hits all the right spots for me.
I did have in my notes too that it does really feed into that like Southern blues influence that they've got, like hard. I mean, they are cowboys from hell, so that's the least I would expect. But
Really Leonard Skinner that solo.
Ooh, yeah.
It's got to be said, Leonard Skinner have to be a primary influence on Pantera just from the Southern association.
For sure.
Just that Southern sound, yeah.
And also, I don't know, I'm not great with describing drums, so I just went F and L, Vinnie Paul in my notes here for Great Southern Trendkill. My goodness, this is going to start a trend here. Vinnie Paul blew me away as this album went on.
I think this album is probably one of his most wild, like crazy. I feel like as Vinnie Paul progressed, he just got crazier and faster, and
which is good. That's what you want, I guess.
Yeah. Especially, I mean, to keep up with some of these songs.
Certainly so. Despite all that, I think I'm going to join Darcy with Ocean Planet because the atmosphere of that is caught my interest immediately. I've never heard... I'm not a death metal guy, and the barometer of what I listen to in terms of death metal, my standard is Opeth. And I want to say that Joe Duplantier, or the guitarist and singer for Gojira, the first impression I got here that I've got in my notes here, it's the most listenable growl vocals I've heard in a while. And I consider Michael Ackerfeld of Opeth as the standard as to what I enjoy out of the death growls. There's something about Joe's voice there that caught me. I was like, this is... Okay, I can live with this. I don't really enjoy the Cannibal Corpse or grindcore kind of style of growl, but this one I enjoyed. And I think the word I'm going to be describing from Master Sirius with is ethereal. It's very cosmic. And it sets the scene great in Ocean Planet, and that's kind of why I'm going to join Darcy there with the point. But, intriguing start, both ends.
I do have to agree with you with Gojira's singer's voice. I feel like it's very passionate as well. A lot of that screamy, growly stuff comes from, I think, just sheer passion.
Through the album, his growls, the way he does them, the way he just does them changes a lot. Like the way he brings his voice through, like sometimes sometimes he'll literally sound like he's singing a lot like Philip Anselmo, like here and there, and then sometimes he'll sound like I said, the Chuck Schuldiner, the singer of Death. He does have like a lot of diversity with how he changes his voice, like to fit different parts of the song. Unless those are just different singers, and I just didn't pick up on that.
As far as I know, there's one singer.
Well, to conclude, Imran, we'll give you the point to Great Southern Trendkill and we'll move on.
Yes.
I certainly will do that. So 1-0 Pantera for Imran, 1-0 Gojira for Darcy and myself. Warner versus Backbone. What do we got?
Darcy can go first in this one again.
Oh, okay. I think Backbone, I like hardcore. I like listen to a lot of hardcore. I think it's hard to say. I think Backbone has like a lot of hardcore influences in it, and like it's more melodic, definitely, than anything from the Great Southern Trendkill. Maybe apart from like Floods or Tens, which is like the closest this get to any kind of melodic kind of music. I think War Nerve, it has some energetic build-ups that just kind of don't go anywhere. Like I just think sometimes it really builds to a flat line. Again, I'm gonna say I have to go. My point goes to the Gojira on this one, and just like at least with this song, the Great Southern Trendkill is just like another Pantera song where he's like yelling at a hypothetical person, which is I feel like what a lot of Pantera songs are.
Warner fits that criteria too, I think, Darcy, as well. It's just Anselmo screaming at the media.
Yeah.
I think the full title of War Nerve is I don't think I can say it, but it's got a profanity in it, and then the media, so it is a lot of screaming. War Nerve, I think, is like I do agree with you to an extent to the constant build up, kind of going into, I wouldn't say not necessarily nothing, but just kind of going back into the song.
Yeah.
And it's just like, it doesn't feel super climactic. I do really like War Nerve though. Some of those riffs are cool. I like I like the first part of the song where like the very first few seconds kind of just feels like I'm falling very fast into the song, and then it just immediately kicks you in, and then there's like 5, 6 different parts before the song actually like kicks in. The classic Phil Anselmo style. He's got the dual style vocals where like he's got two tracks doing one part, then the next line, then the next line, then the next line. I like the chorus or the bridge. I don't know what it is, but when the time changes a little bit, and then what's his name? Vinny's on the ride. Dime's got that weird and then
That's such a good riff. That
Yeah.
definitely makes the whole song.
and then Rex comes in with it as well, and then suddenly it's just this really slow groove. I love that part. It just kind of, I feel like it's just commanding you, that part. It's like a call to attention, like listen to me. Backbone I thought was really cool. I this one kind of reminds me of like a nu metal song. Like the vocals specifically are kind of a bit manic, kind of choppy. I like the black metal change like in the middle of it. It's got that super fast double kick, which I don't know the drummer of Gojira's name, but he's insane.
Mario Duplantier.
Thank you. I really liked the last chugging part. It felt very cinematic to me, kind of almost classical. Kind of had like this big feel to it. I really liked that song. I feel like there's not much to say about it other than like it's just really cool.
It's funny that you mentioned the chugging because some of my notes for that song is literally just dun 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 dun. It's all
There
I
is a
can think
lot
to
of
write
chugging
about
in
it.
that song.
Yeah.
Very rhythm based. It's cool. Jason, what are you picking?
This one's a tough one to call. Yeah. I reckon War Nerve. Not very light. It's a very light War Nerve, I would say, but I think it's from the spoken word riff and the call to action kind of part in War Nerve is kind of what gets you motivated. That will probably be... I think that's probably why I'm going to end up giving it the point there. Backbone I've listened to multiple times, and you know, there's parts of it it's good, but it doesn't hold too much retention for me, and that's not a slight on Backbone. That's more on me. So for that reason, War Nerve, I would say.
I'll join you on that one, Jason.
All right, righto, wonderful. So 2-0 for Imran. Trendkill 2-0. Master Sirius Darcy tie for me. That sounds about the Great Metal Standoff way. Drag the Waters versus From the Sky. Drag the Waters, Imran. This one I'm going to be going back to quite a bit. I enjoy this one.
This is a absolute banger. Straight from the get-go. I love how Drag the Waters flows from War Nerve as well, because War Nerve is already the super heavy song, and it ends. You got that last part where it's just scream, 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 and then it finishes, and then suddenly it just gets even lower, like just even deeper, just down out, bam, 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 just simple riff, immediately grabs your attention. Just when you thought you had enough screaming, there's more screaming. This is a great one. Particularly the off-kilter rhythm in the verse, I really love. The chorus is very catchy, including like that little switch-up part. Like a bridge. I don't know if that's part of the chorus, but it's really cool. The one thing that particularly gets me about this song is the wah pedal on the bass. That part gets me every time. It's like the part right before the solo. I think you can hear it a little bit throughout the song as well, but right before the solo is the dun dun, and then Dime's doing his thing, and you get a little bit of Rex doing the wah on the bass. It's just, mwah.
I'm going to go back and seek for that. I didn't catch that, so thank you for that, Imran.
It's very good. Would highly recommend.
Yeah, great song, Drag the Waters. From the Sky, though, Darcy, it does take it on. This one's a in-your-face one. Yeah.
This one, I did say I don't really like pinch harmonics, but I think I'm gonna have to give this one to Drag the Waters as well. It's just such like a cool song, and like the way that it's less of like the traditional like pinch harmonic sound. He really like drags it out and makes it like screech. You know what I mean? I did like From the Sky as well. I liked it a lot. As I've mentioned about 100 times already, this one really, really reminded me of the band Death. And they have one album called Human, and there's a song in that that's pretty much just about space. It's called Cosmic Planets, and it reminded me quite a lot of that song. And it's just the same kind of like ethereal, like just like ethereal soundscape to it. But Drag the Waters is just like so heavy and so intense, and has so many like well fitted tempo changes. And another thing, I don't really like guitar solos that much.
Really?
Yeah. I've never been a huge fan of a guitar solo. Just in general, I like prefer riffs and stuff like that. But I love the like Drag the Waters, just everything. Yeah, good song.
We're going to need to elaborate on that point, but just before we do, From the Sky, Imran, Darcy's come up with some interesting comparisons. This is what I did. From the riffs displayed in From the Sky, I got a very death metal version of Orion out of that, because the... Other than that, the intensity from the Sky scream, not even going to try and do an impression. The aggression, this is a violent riff.
It is.
Huge.
Well, straight from the get-go, like you've gone straight into that double kick riff. It's like straight from the part of the start right to the end. It's just complete madness. I love the little groove change that it kind of feels like it's just being ripped out of what the song was into this new song, which I really like. The chorus is very catchy. I like there's a thing they do in the chorus that's it's a 3/4 riff over just the normal 4/4 drum beat, which I really like. I think it sounds very cool. I think best example I can think of that is Kashmir by Led Zeppelin do that. It's a very, very circular sound, which is very cool. There's some thick bass in this song as well. This one didn't particularly stand out to me much, but I do remember liking it a lot. So I guess that's proven to what the album... I think as the album goes along, it gets a lot better, in my opinion. But From the Sky, I think, was a great song. Pick and Drag the Waters, though.
I'll go further than you there, Imran. If From the Sky went up against War Nerve or the Great Southern Trendkill, I'd probably pick it, actually. But, Drag the Waters I'm joining you there. Drag the Waters, that one blew me away.
Drag the Waters across the board.
Yeah, there we go.
We're holding our tens. Speaking of tens, the next song is Tens. No, I'm kidding.
Well, it is. It goes up against Unicorn, and it probably is going to get a point just because there's not too much to Unicorn. It's more of an interlude track. Tens is one of the more simmering Pantera songs on Trendkill.
I think it's interesting because they're both the fourth song on the album, and they both really kind of like pull the reins in. It's like a lot less intense, and they're both kind of like calmer, more instrumental kind of things, especially with the Great Southern Trendkill, comparing to those three first tracks, and then starting with this slow kind of like creeping track.
Yeah, creepy like singing, a treacherous
real change of pace. Yeah, I remember this song. I think Tens is actually my favorite song on the whole album.
Wow. Okay. I see what you mean. Certainly.
Yeah, and the solo in it as well is just like, as I said, I don't really like guitar solos, and this is us coming back to that. I just think sometimes they carry on for a bit long, and the guitar solo of Tens is like short and sweet and concise and like pretty much perfect for what it has to do, and it's just really atmospheric, like the whole song. It was also in Dragon Ball Z. It was in Dragon Ball Z when I was a kid. Yeah, in one of the first releases of the first Broly movie, it plays while Broly goes Super Saiyan for the first time, and it's the coolest thing I've ever seen.
That is the most insane thing I've ever heard.
Yeah, it's so wack.
Out of every single song they could have picked, they picked Tens
and it
by Pantera.
It fits really well.
What part are they using? Is it the
dun,
dun, dun, dun, dun, dun?
Yeah, when he says like my skin is cold. Yeah.
Ah, okay, right.
It's intense, and then there's just Dragon Ball Z screaming for like 5 minutes happening in the background. It just doesn't end.
Before I get Imran's take on Tens, I just wanted to put a quick shout out and a big thank you to one of our former co-hosts over at Mosh Pit, Tat, who played this song pre-pandemic when we were in the studio, when Imran and I shared the studios for a bit. She played that one and everyone in the studio got around this song, and it was my first time hearing it, and I was going, oh, really? This is Pantera. This sounds really great. And what won me over was the acoustic interlude, or the clean guitar interlude bit that led into that solo that Dimebag does in Tens. Imran, That's the part that won me over. And the sinister nature of it, so much more treacherous than
Yeah.
the 3 previous tracks.
That part is one of those things that I don't even know how to explain it. You just have to listen to it. But so what a solo. Very melodic. Just everything about it just fits perfectly. My favorite part in particular are the volume swells at the end that he does, like right as he's like finishing it off. Just kind of like these waves coming over you.
Right, yeah.
His guitar tone in that song, or I'm assuming he's got a few effects on his guitar, but absolutely just decadent. It's amazing. Like it just feels like the whole guitar is just washing over me. It's just very watery, it's just flowing so nicely. Even the super heavy parts from the intro where it starts off quiet and then it gets really loud, and everything comes in. It just feels like it's just washing over me so calmly. Yeah, very ominous song. I like the vocal track where one of them's singing and then one of them's underneath just kind of narrating.
First of a couple of times that's on display as well.
Yeah, that's another classic Phil Anselmo technique, I guess.
Is that prevalent in previous albums?
Good question.
I can't think of any. I've definitely
I
listened
was
to
trying
all
to think.
of
There's
their...
some bits of vulgar display I've listened to recently in Cowboys from Hell. It's not that present.
It's not like a big thing he did earlier. It's more like I think this album, I think from memory he does it a bit on what's it called? The next one?
Far Beyond Driven.
No, the last album they did, Reinventing the Steel. My bad. He's got a bit of narration on Far Beyond Driven, I think. So that was a very dark album as well. But anyway, yeah, Unicorns. That was pretty cool. Was there a flute in that?
Yeah, I think there was whale noises.
Whale
It was putting me
noises.
to sleep,
Okay.
yeah.
I thought it was a flute.
It does sound very medieval. I would say that. I'd say like this could be
Yes.
at the start of like a folk metal track, and I wouldn't bat an eye. Like, yeah. I know whether
Yeah.
to give or take points away from the whale noises, because whales are actually quite terrifying creatures if you see them up close. They're too big.
Are you speaking from experience here, Darcy?
I went whale watching off Byron Bay when I was like 8 or 9 years old, and I've never been so terrified for so many
I'm
hours at
Very
a time.
excited to hear your opinion about flying whales.
Yeah. I didn't make it through it.
In the meantime, though, tens or unicorn? I think we're all going to be taking tens, aren't we?
Unicorn was cool. I'm taking tens.
Unicorn was alright, but again, I think it is a bit more of an interlude. So yeah, all 3 of us will take tens. That's no problem at all there. What did that do to the scores? I'll tell you right now. Darcy, that tied things up 2 apiece. For myself, it's put Trendkill in the lead 3-1. Imran's 4-0.
Uh-oh.
Jesus. We got some bias. We got
I swear it's not bias.
Pantera bias.
No, Imran definitely wouldn't be biased. Would he? Imran's System of a Down. 13 Steps to Nowhere versus Where Dragons Dwell. This is one I think I'm definitely going to go Master Sirius in this instance. Where Dragons Dwell, just by the title alone and the music then followed, I think they explored that idea pretty well. Wouldn't you say, Darcy?
Yeah, I would. As I mentioned, the last song sounded a little bit medieval, and this one really kicked off that medieval sound, or like just medieval theme. This one's a bit. I'm really into fantasy. Everyone knows that I just cannot shut up about Lord of the Rings, so I'm a big fan of a dragon. But yeah, I did like it, and I think. What is this up against? Sorry, 13 Steps to Nowhere. Oh, you see, that's actually pretty hard now that I see that, because I think 13 Steps to Nowhere has a really strong like main riff, that like ascending riff, like the I love that so much. Yeah, this is a difficult one. Sorry, I listened to this for the first time today. I'm kind of trying to remember what the Dragons one sounds like.
What did it sound like to you, Imran?
That riff, that when it comes in is just absolutely just. I remember listening to it for the first time and it just blew my mind. I don't know. I think I had to sit down or something. It was insane. This whole song, just from the intro where it's just really doomy, and then it comes in with that double kick. You got the tremolo riff, and then it just all comes in. The lyrics, the vocal, is just brutal. I feel like this is another classic example of Gojira painting a picture with their riffs where I remember listening to this for the first time, it felt like I was just flying in and out of a volcano, just all around it. Just had this image of a volcano in my head, and I'm just like, yeah, dragons, volcanoes. Especially, I like the little percussion thing they did. Like, it's a little tiny spot where it was just kind of quiet. They had this little percussion or chimes or something, and then just a breakdown. Like, absolutely insane. Slow fade out. What more do you want? 13 Steps to Nowhere. This song is also. I remember the first time listening to this as well and thinking, holy moly, what a song. The drums, just immediately from the get go, just the riff feels like it should be a war march or something. Like you'd listen to this while people would be playing this on the really big drums and like trumpets as they're walking into battle or something. The verse is super groovy. After the second chorus part, where it just has that super fast riff, it just feels like you just started running. And then all of a sudden, you've got like this really weird psychedelic breakdown with like sirens in the background, really big bass thumps, like this weird chime happening. It's like everything's kind of disoriented and you're like in the battle or whatever. Help.
You've made a compelling case in Run 13 Steps to Nowhere, but I think many of the points that you made has convinced me I'm going to stick with Where Dragons Dwell. I don't know about you, Darcy, though, because you were struggling too. How convincing was Imran?
I actually, now that I think about the start of 13 Steps to Nowhere with the drums that like kick in first of all, and then it kind of slides like up all the way, like all the way up and back down on the fretboard for the guitar. I love that intro. I think that intro carries the whole song through the rest of it, now that I think about it. And I like the vocals in it too, like super consistent.
I also want to give points to Vinnie Paul here. Imran, if you can give me a breakdown of the drums there, because I considered him MVP of that track.
He was definitely MVP of the track. I'm not a drummer, so I don't know how well I can explain the technicalities of what he does, but all I know is that it's just insane.
Hit you in the happy place.
Yep.
So where's the point going to lie, Imran?
Oh man. How long can I prolong this to think about?
Darcy, where you going to lie?
Ah, I think I'm gonna have to go 13 Steps to Nowhere.
All right then.
Expect no small amount of bias because I've listened to that song before and probably just remember it a bit clearer.
Sure.
But the fact that Where Dragons Dwell didn't really stick with me as much probably speaks volumes in that sense anyway.
Where Dragons Dwell. Quick, move on.
Next couple of songs, we're just going to try our best to keep it as musical orientated as we can. So here we go. Suicide Note Part 1 versus The Heaviest Matter in the Universe. This one I struggle with actually in picking a winner because it's such a departure to what Pantera would be known as, but they keep their dark nature about it, and it's clearly one of their darkest songs, and it's more country orientated, which is what we learned in the beginning about Darcy. He likes his country. Heaviest Matter in the Universe. This one I picture something along the lines of Shoemaker Levy 9 when it collided with Jupiter in 1994. I'm just picturing cosmic collision when I listen to that one. And both of them serve each other really well. Heaviest Matter, shortest song on Gojira's Master Series. But yeah, Suicide Note Part 1, a very different style of Pantera we're hearing.
Yes.
Yeah, absolutely. I'd say so. You did mention that I do like country, and it fits because I actually do really like this song. It definitely slams the brakes on again, I'd say, from the end of 13 Steps of Nowhere to this one. Just starting with that kind of the eerie synth again. I'm a big fan of synth in like songs and just kind of stuff like that. And I think that kind of plays through the whole thing, especially towards the end there, the synth comes back and it's just very atmospheric and deep. It's actually like a really, really nice song. And that sort of the on like just the steel string acoustic is just like I love that riff. but also the heaviest matter of the universe is named appropriately because I think it's definitely the heaviest song on the whole Master Sirius album. Oh.
I'll bleep it out. All good.
Yeah, I love that song. It's so good. I think out of all the songs on the whole album, this one really stuck with me. As someone who listens to a lot of death metal and a lot of like Morbid Angel, it's very Morbid Angel-y, I would say. Almost like orchestrally deep and just strong. It's got like a big dense wall of iron behind it through the whole thing. And yeah, I just loved it. The only thing I could say that I didn't like very much about the heaviest matter in the universe is that I'm coming out with the controversial opinions this episode. I don't like pinch harmonics, guitar solos, and I don't like clean vocals in my songs.
Oof.
I don't like
Jeez,
clean vocals
what?
at all in my death metal songs.
Do you even like music?
No, I don't. I actually hate every song that I've ever heard.
Man.
No, but like I just think I don't know. For me, I just find it hard to fit in. And that's really the only detriment that I have to the heaviest matter in the universe.
The clean
I like
vocals.
that.
I'm guessing. I was gonna say that the schwau that goes on in the breakdown was gonna be a mark against you now.
No, I actually like that.
Really?
That's another one. Yeah. You see, I feel like I'm coming up with these rules for myself and then breaking them immediately. But if it's just like a pure death metal song, I just want to hear the growling vocals. I don't want to hear like I don't know. I'm trying to think of an example.
The heaviest matter of the universe.
Yeah, heaviest matter in the universe. It's like, I'm out. I'm putting my hands up for a few seconds. I'll wait till this is over. I can go back to the sick song that it is. But still, good song.
It was an interesting way they did use the clean vocals, I'll say, Dust, because it had a lot more of a robotic approach to it instead of, doing like that emotionally
exactly.
charged
wasn't-
kind of style that some hybrids in death metal kind of you see.
Yeah, it is kind of like stylized, at least to like some point. It's not perfectly clean.
It's not
But, yeah.
fantastic, I'll admit. I'm with you there, but I see it as a welcome addition.
I mean, it does the job. I think the rest of the instruments kind of do what they need to do. You've got the drums, the bottom doing the same riff as the whole song, and the guitars are like playing some melodic stuff. The heaviest matter of the universe, like you said, Darcy, very appropriately titled. I like the fast intro with the slow groove, and then once that first riff comes in, whew, it's just keeping up, it's one of those songs that's just short and sweet. There's not really much to say about it because it's there, it hits you in the face, and then it's gone. I think it's only like 3 minutes or something, isn't it?
Just shy of 4, yeah.
Yeah, fantastic song. That's a top 3. Suicide Note Part 1. I like the weird ambient intro that goes for a little bit longer than it should.
That's damning with fine praise.
Just a smidge. Yeah, Phil Anselmo with his clean vocals and his super passionate higher vocals in the background. It's all nice and clean. It's all crispy. You've got the dual vocal chorus where he does the sing one line, sings another line from another take. I think I heard some like very distant guitars in the background in the chorus, but it could be the synth. I don't know, just doing some like higher sounds and stuff. It's a very simple song, but it just hits the right spots, Especially that little synth part at the end, as in the outro that leads into the next song. Everything about it, it's kind of weird, kind of putting a synth with that country song style, but at the same time really works. Like you couldn't imagine it without it.
Yeah, I think that end bit with the synth is definitely like a highlight for me, without a doubt.
Yeah.
So it's like a great way to end the song.
Definitely, just adds something to it. What am I picking?
This is one of the more tougher ones, I got to admit.
I think it makes it more difficult because they are just such different songs. Like they don't really. It's hard to compare points on them because they're not really comparable, and there's like apples and oranges, kind of thing.
That is the downfall of the Great Metal Standoff.
Yeah,
It really is.
Great system, guys.
Yes. I'm just for Imran's sake. Yes, the intro smidge too long. It's about a full minute. That ambient start, but I don't listen to too much country, but I'm a sucker for the dark style of country. That always gravitates to me somehow. And Imran's description of Anselmo's performance, I linked it more to like the old gunslinger kind of thing. That was the sort of dynamic I had listening to that vocal performance particularly. And yeah, the mellow nature of it all, I don't know, it's the lulling into the false sense of security that is present a lot. And when we do this show, there's a lot of songs that we go, this has lulled us into a false sense of security, and then it whacks you in the face, and I love it. But yeah, it's the somberness that really captures the imagination for that song. Then again, Heaviest Matter in the Universe, I think the cosmic nature of it is what's making me want to take it. I think that's gonna. This one was a tough one. I'm gonna go Gojira for this one.
I'd say the same, I reckon. In the hit movie Cowboys versus Aliens, I think I'm going to have to go Aliens.
Okay. Right, Imran, Cowboy or the Alien?
Who remembers that one?
That's a good one.
Yeah.
I really, really, really freaking love the Heaviest Matter of the Universe, but I'm going to pick Suicide Note Part 1. Can't pass it up.
Okay. But will he pick Part 2, which is a complete 180 from Part 1? Or is it going to go again? Or Flying Whales, the opponent? What are we going to do here, gentlemen?
This is another big thinker.
Yeah. I just wanted to say that I listened to the album on YouTube, and the whole YouTube video, there was just the cover art for the album for Flying Whales, or like the Mars to Sirius. And the only song that changed is that during the Flying Whales, it wasn't the cover art anymore. It was like an anime girl riding a space whale, and it was that.
What?
And it was really strange.
I thought you were about to say it's like the video clip or something, but I was not
No, it
expecting
wasn't. It was like a DeviantArt kind of rendition of an anime girl riding a whale, and that really.
Let's erase
stuck
that
with
from
me.
our memories.
Yeah, no. Yeah, talk about 180s with part 1 and part 2. Like the Suicide Note song, complete opposites. The brakes come off once again. I think it is just that little bit noisy for me. Like it's almost like not that much to go on. It doesn't have that little section in the end that is like goes incredibly. No, I mean in the middle. Sorry, that one section in the middle that goes incredibly heavy. But I think I just find like Philip Anselmo's like vocals just at their screechiest at this point. I find it hard to get behind that. Whereas in like Flying Whales, another thing, this is another petty gripe against this song, is that some of the whale sounds kind of sound a bit man-made. They sound like a dude trying to sound like a whale. I couldn't
What does
stop
that even
thinking
sound like?
The whole, ooh. Just like, yeah, it was. But you mentioned before that like one of the songs almost had a Opeth influence, and I think Flying Whales is Gojira at the most Opeth-like. It reminded me quite a lot of that.
Specifically, Face of Melinda, I reckon, would be the song you'd probably draw the most comparison to if we're going to go down that route.
Yeah.
Very nice melody in the opening, and the dramatic. I think this is all about the tension and all the ascension of the main riffs that go on in Flying Whales. I think what really won me over was it was the clean break around about the 5-minute mark. They had this clean break that transitioned wonderfully. It went from one part to another, and then it was a wonderful transition into that final breakdown, and that hit with a maximum effect. And I really enjoyed how Flying Whales was put together, actually. Suicide Note Part 2, I think, Darcy, I might share your sentiment there. Anselmo can be quite annoying occasionally. He gets very squealy. His screaming gets very high-pitched, which, again, hey, big ups to the guy for managing to pull that off, but with how frenetic the whole song is and how whammy crazy Dimebag ends up going on in that solo section, and if I could get a quick clarification from you, Darcy, that middle section you were talking about in Suicide Note Part 2, were you talking about the breakdown there?
Yeah, exactly. I did like that quite a lot, yeah.
Yeah, I described that there, utterly ruthless. Dimebag. Imran's probably grinning ear to ear that he's finally doing a podcast about Dimebag and his guitar playing. But sometimes he's going whammy crazy, and I just need to decipher what the hell's going on. So Imran, what the hell is going on with Dimebag here?
Oof. Lots of crazy guitar pedals, lots of guitar effects. I'm amazed his guitar stays in tune. If you ever used a whammy bar before,
Yeah, it probably just doesn't.
yeah,
Probably just goes out of tune. I don't think you'd notice in that song if it went out of tune.
yeah,
'Cause
probably.
It's just,
Suicide Note Part Two. The reason I like both of these songs, Part One and Part Two, is because in my opinion, it's the lightest, most easy listening Pantera song, and on the opposite end, the most brutal, frantic, just white noise Pantera song. Like, it's just absolute insanity. And I imagine that's kind of what they were going for here, is like something really light and then just the most crazy thing they've ever done. Because like right from the get-go, it's just a face melter. It's that whammy pitch shifter thing that he uses, just crazy from the get-go. I love how the drums kind of follow along with that riff as well in the verse. Yeah, the screams in this, Phil at his most tormented, very very screechy, very like almost like he's crying, but in the most like insane holy crap help me way possible. That little breakdown, again, like you said, Jason, ruthless. I love that little part. It's kind of like the mini breakdown before the real breakdown. The solo, I do want to mention one thing in it, because it's absolutely crazy, but there's one little bit towards the end of it as is going nuts with the whammy. The drums and the bass are like speeding up a little bit, and as they're speeding up, it still adjusts right at the end to keep in time with like what's happening as an actual song. So everything speeds up and then it slows down back into the normal tempo of the song again, which blows my mind every time. And then there's this just big long scream, and all of a sudden Dimebag brings back the riff and it's just super slow, and oh man, it's just like I float out of my body. I'm a sucker for when they do the really fast riff and then they bring it back but like really super slow. Yeah, great song. On the opposite side here, we've got Whales That Can Fly. Absolutely sexy intro. This is another intro that goes for a while, but this is one I do not mind goes for a while, because I feel like it just keeps kind of building a little bit. They kind of add layers to it as they go, just change it like just a tiny bit, just enough to keep you interested. And then they bring in that really catchy riff. This was the first Gojira song I think I ever listened to. And one thing I noticed in this song and in a few other songs is that he sounds like a pirate. I don't know if that's just me. I don't know if that's the ocean theme of the song, but it just, every time I listen to this song now, I imagine this man on a really big boat, like hanging from some ropes and just swinging a cutlass around while singing this. I love the little the bridge that's like really open, just the chords before they do that really choppy, like heavy, like shotgun part. And then there's that little calm before the storm, as you mentioned before, Jason. The little bridge part that's like super clean. You kind of envision like you're underwater or something, just kind of floating around or whatever. And then suddenly you come back in, you're like breaking the surface and you're just being chopped around by like some really heavy waves. With the breakdown part. Hang on, I just lost my train of thought.
I don't care. That train of thought's convinced me I'm going to go flying whales.
Yeah.
Thanks for that, Imran.
No worries. Yeah, absolutely insane song. A top 5 breakdown in that song. Top 5 breakdown in Suicide Note Part 2. That's for me personally. So I'm a bit conflicted at the moment.
Well then, Darcy, while Imran solves his conflict,
Yeah,
where's your
deliberating.
point?
I think I'm probably gonna have to go Flying Whales, just because to me it is just like the more coherent and enjoyable song, and simple as that. When Imran was saying that it reminded him of a pirate, it made me think of that movie Treasure Planet, which is like pirates in space. You ever see that one, like the cartoon one?
I have not seen that, but that sounds amazing.
Really? Get on it. That's my real recommendation for this round. Flying Whales 0. Suicide Note per 2 0. Treasure Planet 5 points.
I think I'm gonna pick Flying Whales. That breakdown is untouchable. Just the way it comes in, it's yeah. Let's move on before I keep going.
Sure thing. Living Through Me or Hell's Wrath versus In the Wilderness. Before I throw to you guys, In the Wilderness is kind of a song where I started losing things to say, because now from Master Sirius, not an indictment on Gojira, an indictment on me storing music in my memory bank. I started running out of things to say, and it's starting to blur a little bit here.
That is so funny because in my notes for In the Wilderness, it says the first song that gave me listening to a full album fatigue. It started there, and it says all the songs start to blend into one a little bit. So I think I'm exactly with you there. It does have one bit in the middle of In the Wilderness that I very much liked. It was like very heavy, almost like war drums, like very heavy drums, and like the way he was like growling sounded like some angry orc war chant right in the middle. That's all I can remember from that. But I remember I did actually quite like the song.
I did give it a few more listens, actually, Darcy, and then I started thinking, yeah, actually, you don't want to be chased by a Lovecraft monster in the middle of the forest with that playing.
Definitely not. But what would you like to play? Getting chased by a timeless horror? Yeah,
you don't really want much, but that's a great connotation, I would say, because that would definitely work in maybe Lovecraft literature. Other than that, I mean... Yeah, quick question, since you sound like you know your stuff about death growls. Joe Duplantiers' screaming in here, do you think it sounded a bit more guttural?
Yeah, I think it was definitely more intense than anything on Flying Whales, if that's what you're asking me. I'm trying to think back. I think the whole time his growling style changed quite a bit. There were always different verses that kind of surprised me in the way that it was different from the last time. You know what I mean? Yeah, it was very intense, and like from the diaphragm.
I kind of got more of a panicked vibe from his vocals in this throughout. Not like all the way through, but like especially towards the start, kind of just feels like he's just spouting out like ideas or something. It's just mania. I really liked the little groove breakdown after the verse. It reminded me a bit of Sepultura, especially like the Roots era. But yeah, a lot of panicked screams I got in this one. I liked the little reverse drum part where they like reversed it, and then like kind of there's a part where it just kind of like the song goes in the background for a little bit, and it feels like you're just kind of like flying in the air. And then all of a sudden you're like smacking into trees and you're running again. That ending part, the drums are very punchy. What's the drummer's name again? I'm sorry, Jason.
It's the brother of Joe Duplantier. His name's Mario.
Ah, the more you know.
Furthermore, how does a man drum that intense for that long? That boggles my mind.
The drums in that song, I just remember being absolutely insane, and especially like after that little part where it goes quiet and it comes back in, I was just like, whoa. That was crazy. In the Wilderness is probably going to be my pick for this one.
I also wanted to give points to the melodies that are played over those really weighted riffs as the song comes out. I was a fan of those melodies. Excellent. So Imran's going to go into the Wilderness, but Living Through Me, what did everyone have on that?
I honestly think it's probably one of the weaker songs on the album. Maybe even one of like, it's like if you asked an AI to make a Pantera song, because it's just got everything there that's like, it's just bog standard Pantera. Like it's nothing super interesting that I don't like. I think it definitely comes together after like the interlude towards like the middle end there. It kind of finishes on a better note than it starts, but it really loses me through that first half.
Yeah, I wrote as well. I reckon it's the weakest song on the album. I could imagine this song on like Vulgar Display of Power or something, or maybe even Cowboys.
Yeah, for sure.
The chorus riff is kind of cool. I thought the interlude was very out of place. I thought
Really?
they could have used that on a different song.
No, I'm with you there. That
Yeah,
did
because-
sound out of place.
Really, that was like the only thing I liked on the song, and I think that's because it just didn't sound like the rest of the song.
Yeah, well, I think it's a cool like interlude. Like it's an interesting idea because you've got this weird. To me, it kind of sounded like this weird like desert cyberpunk kind of scape. But like out of all the songs they picked, it was living through me, and that's it. Like you said, it's the most basic sounding like by the numbers Pantera song. So in the wilderness.
Yeah, in the wilderness.
In the
Hard.
wilderness, hard. No worries at all. I'm going to join you as well. I think a lot of the points raised here is what has helped convince me, I would say. Yeah, okay, we've all united on In the Wilderness. Yeah, I think Imran's points there really have shown that there's more substance there, because I'm looking at my notes here. There weren't many for Living Through Me, and they weren't very passionate notes either.
Yeah.
But that was Living Through Me. Floods versus World to Come. Listen, Floods all the way. I'm really annoyed World to Come is going up against Floods, because this gave me something new to talk about when it comes to Gojira from Mars to Sirius. Because this song felt a lot more stripped back than the songs that have come before it. It wasn't really overtly death metal, and the atmosphere wasn't as prevalent as the previous tracks have, and that one got me curious.
Yeah.
More bluesy, got that sinister nature to it. I don't know why I've put things like it's got kind of like the guitar tone reminding me of Pixies, or Where Is My Mind kind of thing. I'm not saying that it's like a compliment or a detriment, but that's kind of what I got out of it. But the stripped back feel of it intrigued me and made me a fan of the song.
Yeah, I thought it was very grungy.
I have the exact same thing in my notes.
Yeah.
I have it's a Black Hole Sun, World to Come. It's it very, very grunge, which is weird because it's 2005. I think it's a bit after that. If you think of like Saint Anger coming around at the same time, that's kind of like the vibe that it gave me. It's just like kind of post grunge, clean vocals. What I think of them.
I really liked the clean vocals on this. It caught me off guard when I listened to it, because it comes in with the growly vocals, and then he switches it to the clean, and then he like kind of does on and off as he goes through. I really like what he did with the clean vocals in this one. I was a very big fan of that. Yeah, I liked the bass as well in this song. It was like nice and simple, but I feel like it's very punchy. Does the job. Yeah, I thought it's just like a kind of doomy, a kind of Black Sabbath-y, but I think a bit more grungy song. I liked as well, right at the start, they've got that little pick scraping thing over the top of the little melody guitar. I thought that was a very interesting sound, because those two things kind of almost sound like they don't go together, but they do. And then that guitar riff comes in, and it's just like, it kind of catches you a bit off guard, more in terms of how the notes are used, I think. Once you get into it, and yeah, it definitely creates like this atmosphere, like Jason said. It's very cool.
A different type of atmosphere as well.
Yeah, definitely, like, yeah, in terms of the album, it's very different. The little switch up at the end I thought was interesting. It's kind of Iron Maiden-esque, that riff. And there's some nice chords that like kind of finished the song off at the end. Thought it was a very nice song, and yeah, like you said, Jason, I'm upset it has to go against Floods.
Yeah.
Here we go, gentlemen.
I'm not picking Floods. If you don't pick Floods, I'm leaving
I'm
this
not
call.
old.
Yeah, that's all right.
Floods, easy, no question about it. Let's just go to the notes. It's got that treacherous riff, kind of like what we saw in Tens. Clean vocal, just followed up. It's doubled up like with the spoken word, demonic kind of feel that they were going for on this album. It's another occasion where we've heard that. But for the first 3 minutes, you kind of picture it. Chapter 1, dark clouds blanketing the sky over a ruined city, rife with disease, poverty, and corruption. And then, as soon as Phil Anselmo goes, or actually more of when he goes, extinguishing the sun, wash away man, and then flood, and just the breakdown riff hits. That's when the thunder starts clapping. That's when the lightning starts flashing, and trouble is about to wreak incredible havoc across this ruined city. And then that solo. First things first, the build up, just that little clean bit before the solo, and then it hits, and then you can just picture that rain start falling down, and then when they go back to the breakdown, now all of a sudden everything is ruined. It's just ravaging this city, and then that little clean outro. Everything's over. Houses are gone, trees have collapsed, power lines are crushed, and it's just the sun breaks. Still a little bit of a light drizzle coming down, and there's just nothing. It's barren, and the people are just sitting on their roofs watching that storm pass them by. Floods, hands down. No need to move. What a song! What an effing solo!
It is the Pantera song.
I think that's just it's just the best Pantera song out of like every single one. Like yeah, that breakdown after like you just said like extinguishing the soul or something that he say
The sun.
Yeah, and it just slides back up and down. It's just like one of like the heaviest sounding riffs ever. Like it's oh god, I can't stop swearing. Sorry, it's the passion. Yeah, it's just amazing. I love that song.
And I want to also give points to Rex Brown, because I think that's some of his best bass playing as Dimebag's shredding away in that iconic solo.
That's funny, because I remember reading that Rex Brown didn't like what he did in that song.
Really?
Yeah, I wasn't a fan of it.
Aw.
But yeah, no, I got to agree though. That's definitely some of the best playing is done in that song. Best playing from Dime. Some of Phil's best vocals, honestly. I like his little falsetto singing. Like you don't really expect it.
Yeah.
From of all people, Phil Anselmo.
Is that the parts where he's kind of going, let you?
Yeah.
I thought it was just some like little girl that he'd gone into the studio or something. I didn't realize that was him. I thought
No,
it
that
was
was
just
him.
like, you know, really?
Yeah.
I never knew that.
Yeah. No. Yeah, it's just something you don't expect from Phil Anselmo. I loved the chords that they played in like the little bridge part as well, where he's doing the narration, and stuff. The song kind of has like this very gothic feel, I think, to it as well.
It's a bit typo negative-y,
Yeah,
I think, yeah.
but yeah, just the Pantera song. If you want a Pantera song, look up Floods. It's the song.
So my pick is World to Come.
Yeah.
I think I'm speaking for all of us when I say that. Next.
We kick him out.
Yeah. No, definitely Floods. Floods for sure.
Yeah, Floods, mate.
I'm glad we all came together for that one. My. What a picture that song builds. It's one of those songs I really cannot envision anything. It's one of the most perfect songs that you can at least visualize. It doesn't. You might not even like the song. I mean, my goodness, why? But at the same point, you can visualize what this song is kind of overlaying something. I hope there's some creative person out there that can make like a short film in conjunction with the song, because I would see the heck out of that. But yeah, floods. We're moving on. But World to Come was good.
Yes, it was.
But floods.
Floods.
The Underground in America is up next. Comes up immediately following, and that's going to go up against From Mars, the first half of the title track. I guess the title tracks, it's split into two parts because it's just called From Mars, and it is another one of those interlude tracks. I think it's a little bit more interesting than Unicorn, but I think this is another one of those battles which is a bit of a mismatch.
Yeah. I liked From Mars. Probably not enough to pick it, but like I thought it was really interesting. I liked it's like the finger picking style guitar they had in it. The vocals kind of caught me off guard as well in it as well. They surprised me when I first listened to it, because when I heard the guitar, I'm like, I saw it was like 2 minutes. I'm like, another Unicorn, and then the vocals came in. I'm like, ooh, hello. And the song kind of like slowly builds a little bit as well. Like there's a bit more layers to the vocals and stuff as well. Kind of also gave me a King Gizzard vibe. Well, I guess maybe King Gizzard got the vibe from Gojira, but yeah, kind of just gave me that, like, I guess a little bit medieval. But yeah, the Underground in America, on the other hand, That guitar is probably tuned to like the lowest possible tuning a guitar can go to, and it is absolutely amazing. I've got a theory about this song where Dimebag was one day just messing around his guitar and he just tunes his guitar all the way down and he just writes like a bunch of riffs for it just randomly, and then like the band hear him or something and they're like, damn, we should make that a song. So they just make it a song and just jam to it the whole time, and they just put it at the end of the album as two songs. That's my theory about the underground in America. It's not very revolutionary, but
Does make sense. It's something. It's like B standard or something, or A standard. It is incredibly low. It's
yeah.
one of those ones that I wanted to learn a while ago, and I looked it up, and the tuning was that, and I was like, maybe I won't. I don't want to do that to my
Don't want to
guitar.
ruin the strings today.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah.
Yeah.
I liked From Mars. Like it. It's not typically my style of song. I think I just liked the lyrical content a lot. Gave me like almost uh like Ground Control to Major Tom. What is that song called?
Uh,
Why do I know?
I know what you're talking about. I've forgotten the title. Damn.
David Bowie.
David
Space
Bowie.
Oddity.
That's it.
Space Odyssey. Also like a little bit of like Dr. Manhattan from Watchmen. Just wanting to get away from civilization and floating into space, going somewhere new. I really like that sort of edge to it. And space is this big and scary place. We can get away from all your problems.
It is really funny
And,
how much
find-
Gojira is playing at my space nerd self, like just the inner space nerd that I have, and it's bringing it out of me, this album, From Mars to Sirius. So is that really all we're going to be taking away from the underground in America by how low the guitar is tuned?
Oh no, I had more points.
There's a lot of things going on. Long screams. It's a 4-minute FU. That's pretty much how I got away. But I have no idea how to decipher that solo, Imran.
I I remember the first time I listened to that, I thought it was a fiddle.
A fiddle in Pantera.
Yeah, I was like, I was thinking to myself, like, what is that, a fiddle? And then I listened closely, and he's got a tremolo effect on it, and I'm like, oh, that's weird as hell. I was not expecting that. But yeah, it's a weird one, and he kind of switches to like the normal guitar sound, like in the middle of it. But it is a bit of an odd solo. Like he switches, kind of goes a bit nuts, and then goes to that classic like blues style that he does. The whole song's weird though. I feel like they're just jamming the whole time. Even though there's structure to it, there's like different parts. There's so many parts that it just feels like they're all just messing about and just like, what can we do? What can we possibly do to make it like weird, or just to see what we can do? And they just went with it. They came up with a main riff and then they used it one more time in the song. The rest of it's just, crazy rhythms, a lot of screaming. Like everyone just feels like they're on the same wavelength, except it's just all over the place. The thing is though, I think all of the groove switches are really cool because they kind of work, but at the same time it's just chaos. And then you've got like right at the end the weird like industrial in your face fuzz sounding like feedback, and then you've got Phil and Selma just the trend is dead. Yeah, it's just, that song is chaotic. It's definitely like a must listen when I listen to the album though. No, like you could end at Floods, but the Underground in America, absolutely ripper of a song. So heavy. If you want your brain to just be lost for a few seconds, listen to the Underground in America.
I'll need your take, Darcy. Imran, everything Imran's described about what he loves about this song is what I hate about it. I do not like Dimebag in this song at all. The Trend is Dead saves it. I'm saying that. That will definitely save it. And I'm going to pick it over From Mars because there's more to work with. But, I don't know, Darcy. A lot of the crazy chaos there didn't sit right with me.
I really like Underground in America.
All right, then I'm on my
Everything
own.
from that, yeah. Sorry, see you later. I think everything from that sort of that first like feedback fade into the start that kind of goes into that harmonic riff, like that to kind of kick everything off, and every single riff from there is completely gold. It's yeah, I think I've said it like 3 times now. I think this is one of my favorite songs on the album. It really just like kicks things off, and the guitar solo at the end is also like incredibly interesting and out there. A lot different than for someone who said that I didn't like guitar solos. I've said a lot of guitar solos are good on this.
You really
But yeah,
have.
it's just interesting. Yeah, yeah. Maybe it's just him. But yeah, no, great song. I like it. Definitely remember it more than From Mars.
Yeah, fair
Um,
enough. There we go. The power of Dimebag, Imran. It's gotten Darcy, who hates guitar solos, to like guitar solos.
What can I say? It's Dimebag Darrell.
Yeah.
Yeah, Dimebag.
So I'm going to say all three of us are probably taking the underground in America.
I feel like yours has a very big asterisk on it, Jason.
Well, there's more to work with than From Mars. It wasn't so bad. Clean melody, nice bass, hearing a bit of sliding going along, and the whisper vocals, take it or leave it. Other than that, we're going to end the Great Southern Trendkill with Reprise, Sandblasted Skin, and that's going up against 2 Sirius. Second half of the title track, I'll say, for Gojira. Competitive. Interesting way to end Great Southern Trendkill. It's a continuation, still doesn't relent, and it's a chugger, and a chugger. I'll say chugger again to emphasize the point. It's a chugger. To Sirius, there's some ruthless riffing going on there.
Yeah, to Sirius, I like how it just feels like it explodes in From Mars after that finishes. Very, very bass heavy. This song I realized maybe partway through, this could be like an old medieval folklore style song if you like take away all the distortion and stuff, which I does not take away from the song. I really like that. I like the little guitar harmonic stuff that they do in the first bridge. It's kind of the da 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 da, and then it's like a little harmonic thing doing like going under it. I really like that. And they bring in the blast beats, of course, in classic Gojira style. I like the really weird guitar rhythms over that. They kind of continue like just with that for the rest of the song, but I think it's really interesting. I don't know, like the groove change and stuff. It was weird, but it worked with this song. And I really like the big screams at the end as it's fading out. There's another thing about this album, in particular, whenever they fade out a song, it fades out for like over a minute.
Yeah, I didn't like that.
I just think it's absolutely insane. Like whenever you think of a song fading out, you think, 10 seconds at most. But like, you sit there and you're just like, damn, it's still going. That's kind of wild. It just keeps going. I didn't mind it.
I did. Not a fan.
It gave you time to think.
I guess that might be what they're trying to do,
Stop
but
this.
yeah, that's not resonating.
Yeah, fair enough. Yeah, Reprise, Sandblasted Skin. You're just going straight back into the action after just when you think it's ending. The trend is dead. No, it's not. You're straight back in. Very bouncy riffs. It is a chugger. I really love that breakdown riff that just goes into like half time. Just absolutely insane. Fades out. It's like a minute and 45 of nothing and fades back in for just no reason other than why not.
That's the reprise.
One of my all-time favorite lines of like all time is, "You won't need that anymore. It's on sale at the redacted dollar store." Absolutely amazing. Other than that, it's just, the underground in America, but if you wanted more, I guess. I'm going to pick Gojira.
I would say, I think To Sirius, of all things, reminded me of Godsmack. You know, that kind of like weird
Huh.
sort of like slammy. I don't know why. I think it's because, like you said, it has like a weird medieval element to it. And Godsmack made a song for a video game called Prince of Persia, and that has like really big like medieval like influences in it too. And I just couldn't stop thinking about it the whole time. I was like, oh, this song sounds a lot like Godsmack. His voice, like his vocals are a lot quite, I feel like slammier in that way. That kind of, it really hit that like, oh yeah, this song was definitely made in 2005. Like, just that, I don't know, that kind of vibe for me. And in comparison with Sandblasted Skin being like the final track of the Great Southern Trendkill, I don't think I think it's kind of a weak ending to the album. I think it's hard to say, like especially with the reprise at the end, that riff, the I don't think that was sort of powerful enough to send things off and leave me like thinking well about that song. It's a hard decision for me this time. I'd say I'd probably have to go to Sirius just because like it stuck with me more.
I'm leaning Gojira, I think, as well. Long fade out aside, it's got a strong breakdown that doesn't relent. Well, it was a bit the riffs that led into that breakdown was split into three, and I was a bit unsure as why that middle bit was there, but reasonably okay transition all the same. To Sirius wasn't a favourite of mine across that entire album, but it might be the one I end up going over reprise. I think going a minute and a half silent and then 20 seconds of extra instrumental probably didn't appeal to me. That's probably an indictment on me, but come on, you had it right, you faded it out, you were fine, Pantera. You didn't need to come back and leave us waiting. Whatever. Anyway, I think I'm going to join you guys to Sirius. That'll be my point as well. And with that, we've finished the Great Southern Trendkill. It didn't end on a point, but it is done nonetheless. Now the ultimate question is this, Imran and Darcy. Does global warming get a gold star?
Nah.
No.
I wasn't a massive fan of this song.
I like it again. I like its lyrical content. It kind of reminded me, like, if you watch like Planet Earth 2 with David Attenborough, it like always ends on like a sad note. It's like all of this is going to die. It's like, oh, okay.
Roll credits. Global warming by Gojira.
Yeah, exactly. No, I don't think it gets the gold star for me.
It's my favourite song from Master Sirius.
Huh.
Yeah. It was the guitar melodies that made up the main riff, and it was a very satisfying breakdown. And just, I will say, I'm not particularly a fan of some of the outros that Gojira have done on this album, specifically from songs like Where Dragons Dwell and Too Serious. And I think just those ones where they spend a good minute and a half to maybe even 2 minutes of just the same riff going on and then fading out over 30 seconds to a minute. But global warming, I think, was the exception to the rule I made when listening to this one, because I enjoyed the hooks of We Will See Our Children Growing and the supporting music underneath it.
Yeah, I thought it just went too long.
Yeah.
I think, is it the longest song on the album? I think it might be.
Oh, I don't know
I
about
think
that.
it is. 7:50 it clocks in at.
Yeah. I'm trying to think.
How long is Flying Whales? Is pretty long, right?
I think that was just under
It must
7.
be, yeah.
Yeah. It's either this one or Flying Whales. You would be right in that regard. No, but still, I maintain, I think Global Warming's probably going to be my favourite track off from Master Series. It's the one I took away the most. It was the one that kept staying in my head after listening to this album, and I guess that leaves a good impression for a closing track. There was a sense of catharsis listening to Global Warming, concluding this one.
Real uplifting message of like, if we get through the global warming crisis, we might get chased through the forest by an unknown terror. We might see magic dragons. So much could happen.
The heaviest
We
matter
just
in the
have to
universe
unite
may
together.
crash into Earth.
Yeah, exactly. Might happen
It'll
one
be-
day.
It'll be terrible for you, Darcy. Whales are going to start flying.
No, no,
You
not
live
again.
in fear every day.
Yeah. Well, you heard it here first. Jason supports global warming. Yeah. Bring it.
Thanks, Darcy.
And this is the last episode of the Great Metal Standoff.
Damn, and we had some good ones planned, but yeah, we got to pack it up. We're done.
Yeah.
Nah, gold star, global warming. Thank you very much.
What do you think of global warming in comparison to Sandblasted Skin as a finisher, like as a closer of the album?
I think it's a better
What do
closer.
you think? Yeah, I think
yeah.
so too.
I'd say it's a better closer than Sandblasted Skin. I think just because the tapping was at least a little bit more interesting, and some of the like the power chord stuff, even there's a bit of Alice in Chains in that as well, which I thought was kind of interesting. Yeah, I think the reason I'm not picking it is just because I think it went for too long and all the riffs just were a bit too repetitive.
I love how you managed to mesh anything into Alice in Chains, Imran. The amount of times we've done
Give,
podcasts like
give
this
me
and
any
you go,
song, I'll
I got
do
an
it.
Alice in Chains vibe out of
Well,
this.
it was kind of grungy, like Well to Come, very grunge.
Well, so really, it was only the song length, Imran, that did it in.
That's like the main reason, I guess. I mean I think the tapping just got repetitive as well. Like I'm a fan of guitar tapping, but like when it's used as a riff instead of just like, kind of a cool thing they do in the middle where you're like, "Ooh, that's
Yeah,
cool, it's fast."
as a little
Um
appetizer.
yeah. Instead it's just like the main thing, and then by like halfway you're just like, more tapping, like, we get it. You can use two hands on the guitar. It's cool.
I guess the other part of it that I guess the only other final bit that I would use to just attempt to sway you is that despite it being a very elongated outro and the "we will see our children growing" being repeated again and again and again and again, I will understand the criticism if that's one of your main criticisms of it. Yeah, repetition can be a bit dull after a while, but I think just as that song fades out, it slowly but surely goes from clean singing to a bit more of a growling style as we're fading out or as we're ending the album, and I think that's a nice little way to kind of maybe end it on, like, not really quite put a full stop on the album, but put a dot dot dot, like the end or is it kind of thing, or the sense of finality, or is it a happy ending, or is it a cathartic ending? But yeah, other than that, I don't think there's any other points I can make to try and sway you to. So,
Yeah. It was definitely a better outro than Pantera. Still not giving it a star.
and you're agreeing with that, Darcy.
Yeah, I am.
All right, well then that's the battle then, everyone. So that was a fun one. That was a very competitive one, and I'm looking at the scorecard right now, and it was a close one. It was a definite close
I'm
one.
a bit scared, not gonna lie.
Okay, we'll start with Imran then. 7-4 in the favour of Trendkill, so that's a point to Pantera.
Huh.
For myself, I was surprised by this one. I thought I'd go Pantera, but I've actually gone Gojira 5-7. So we're currently at a tie right now, and the result rests on our guest Darcy, and he's quite perplexed actually. He's starting to get a little bit apprehensive as to how this is going to go. I'll say
I
it was
have
a
no
close
idea
one.
actually.
It was by 1 point. Pantera 5, Gojira 6. The winner of this battle is Gojira from Master Sirius.
Wow, I'm actually really surprised by that.
So am I. But I'm pleasantly
Yeah.
surprised by that. That's
I
not
think-
bad.
I think I kind of mentioned at the start. I think I like, compared to the last time I listened to the Great Southern Trendkill, when it was a pretty long time ago. I think just like the constant hyper-aggression and like jarring tonal shifts kind of get to me a little bit, and like Gojira is more of like a sort of a straightforward experience. It knows what it's doing the whole time. It doesn't switch up so much. It has one kind of story to tell throughout the whole thing. It's almost like a concept album kind of thing. I just like that.
That was actually something I did have about from Master Series. That's why I'm so surprised that my votes ended up going Gojira's way, because I don't listen to death metal and I'm not that big of a death metal man. But this was a style that left me very curious and left me looking for more similar to this. So I will admit, before coming into this, just before we started recording, I was sitting here thinking, if Gojira ever entered this arena again, if we ever did another Gojira standoff, I feel like Meshuggah would end up being the opponent next time round.
That'd be interesting.
Well, I was actually talking to a friend that I was going to record this today, and I accidentally kept calling Gojira Meshuggah.
Really?
So I think it would fit. Yeah. So I think that would work.
I think Meshuggah would be interesting because you've got the same thing that we've just done, where it's like two almost pretty much death metal bands, but kind of in different directions or in different kind of styles of death metal, I guess. So Meshuggah is.
I'm going to be honest. I don't think I've ever listened to Meshuggah. I don't think I've ever really come across it.
Pretty much sounds like. Have you ever been inside of a factory with a bunch of machines?
Yeah, I have
Just like
actually.
grinding together? Kind of sounds like that.
Yeah.
That's what Meshuggah sounds like, but very
Grind-
loud.
Grindcore.
It's not.
Yeah.
No.
Yeah, no, it's a joke. It's not-
No, it just sounds like steel and iron.
You surprised with how your votes went, Imran?
I was kind of expecting Pantera to jump ahead, kind of. After re-listening to him, I wasn't too sure. I think it could have gone any other way, but like I'm not really that surprised. I picked Pantera at the end because that's the one I've listened to more than out of the two.
As the big Pantera fan, Imran, if it was Vulgar Display or Cowboys from Hell or maybe a Far Beyond Driven going up against From Mars to Sirius, do you think From Mars to Sirius would have been blown out a little bit more?
I think if it was Cowboys or Vulgar, Master Sirius would have won.
Okay, ooh.
If it was Far Beyond Driven, I think that would have been very tight.
Similar to this.
Yeah.
I'm struggling to remember the songs that are on Far Beyond Driven. I think if it
It's
was
got,
literally
5
any other
Minutes
of their
Alone.
songs, yeah, that's an alright one.
I'm
I think if
I'm
it was
broken.
any song against Floods, like literally any song on this list against Floods, I'd rather listen to Floods than any other song by Gojira or Pantera.
And it's got everything, pinch harmonics, guitar, solos, and clean singing. Wow.
Yeah, exactly. Yeah, true. If there's one thing the listeners have learned this week is that I'm not to be trusted.
And also they should listen to Floods.
Yeah, they should listen to Floods.
Yeah, well, there you go. That was actually a really fun one. And I anticipated it being pretty tight, and it did end up getting pretty tight. Darcy, this was a really fun podcast to have you, and I'm very glad that you're part of the Mosh Pit team and spreading the good name of death metal into the pit, which is a nice little range to see. Because again, I'm not that well versed in it. Imran is to a certain extent. He went on his dingy dark adventures all those years ago. And but it's good to see some of that style continuing on the main radio show, and we're very thankful that you are willing to take some time out to have a bit of a long form chat here on the pod.
Yeah, no problem. Thanks for having me. It was fun. I had to put my thinking cap on and really dig deep into the songs. But yeah, it was fun. I've been wanting to come on this little side project for a while.
Oh, that's great.
So yeah, I'm glad I
kind of
finally
you
had
to
the
say.
opportunity to do so.
Let's hope this isn't the last one. We'll hopefully get you back on before year's end. How about that?
Yeah, let's do it.
Cool. To finally wrap
Hell
everything
yeah.
up, Imran. Oh, sorry. Do you want to say something?
That's all I wanted to say is hell yeah.
Hell yeah, good. That's his
Yeah,
catchphrase.
Meshuggah versus Hell Yeah.
Hell yeah.
Hell yeah.
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 That's Dime's band, right?
Hell yeah was Vinnie Paul. Damage Plan was Dime.
Ah, true. Yeah.
Oh, actually, technically, Vinnie Paul and Dime was Damage Plan. But anyway, to wrap things up,
Yeah, true.
if we could get your favourite three from each.
I definitely Floods at the top, Tens, and then maybe Suicide Notes Part 1. And from Mars to Sirius, I would probably go Backbone, the heaviest matter in the universe, because it is the heaviest matter in the universe. And I'm struggling to think of a second one. Probably Ocean Planet, because I love that classic 90s death metal sound.
Yeah, that's up there for me, actually, Darcy. Well, for me, Gojira, Global Warming, that's number one. I think World to Come would be number two, and I'm struggling here with number three, whether it's Flying Whales or Ocean Planet or The Heaviest Matter in the Universe, or even Where Dragons Dwell. I was a fan of that one. I think, I reckon I'll stick with the Heaviest Matter in the Universe. I think I'm going to stick with that one, but Ocean Planet was pretty close, and Flying Whales too. Definitely honourable mentions there. Pantera, Floods, Drag the Waters. Ugh, what do I want to say next? Do I want to say Tens, or do I want to say Suicide Note Part 1, or do I want to say... I think Tens. I think it's going to... Floods, Drag the Water, Tens. I think they're my three. Imran?
Yes. The heaviest matter of the universe, obviously. Flying Whales, obviously. And World to Come, I reckon. And for Trendkill, Floods, 100%. 13 Steps, even though I didn't pick it, that's in the top three. And the Great Southern Trendkill.
And that's the battle. Darcy, thanks again.
Yeah, thank you. I'll see you guys around.
Till the next battle, Imran.
See you later.